We're so happy to be joined by an absolute stud. Look at his flow. Second rounder 2021 from the University of Minnesota. It's none other than Matthew Knies.
How are you guys?
Not too bad. So take us behind the scenes. It's been a busy last couple months in your hockey career. What's it like to be the talk of the town in college puck right now?
It's pretty fun. Obviously we have an incredible team. Been number one for a while now in pairwise, and yeah, it's been a good season so far. It's exciting.
What's it like to be in the Hobey Baker conversation? What would that mean to you?
I mean, that's a tremendous honor. Obviously, you see the guys that would come before, all have, super careers in the NHL. So, to be nominated is an honor. Alongside the two guys on our team, it's tremendous that, I could put my name on that kind of list. And so I'm keeping my hopes high, but, I think it's definitely a tremendous honor.
Knies, you grown up in Phoenix, not exactly a hockey hotbed, but, wanted to pick your brain on how you picked up the game of hockey. Obviously you got that connection with Austin Matthews, both being, members of the Maple Leafs organization. Tell us a little bit about how you got into hockey in such a big way from a place like Phoenix.
Yeah, my dad actually grew up playing like street hockey in Slovakia. So he was like around the sport a lot. He knew it pretty well. He watched it as a kid, so he really fell in love with it too. And then my older brother, who's 4 years older than me now, he picked it up really quick at a very young age in Arizona, and just started skating. And I kind of just wanted to follow his footsteps, so I was quickly behind him. And then we would go to Coyotes games when we were kids. Back when they were in the playoffs and the conference final. I think it was like 2012 or 2011 when they were playing Detroit. Those are the kind of games that my family went to, and it was so exciting to be a part of that. And that's kind of where I fell in love with the sport, and I took it a little more serious. And I know my brother did as well. So, I kind of shot from there.
Cool. What, I'm sure your focus right now is on winning a national championship and everything you're doing right now with this year of college hockey, that you went back to try to, finish some unfinished business and do everything there. But has any of your thoughts kind of wandered towards maybe later on this year, playing your first NHL game and what that might be like, what that might entail?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously in the back of my head, it's always going to kind of be there. You dream about it as a kid to play in the NHL, to play at that level. But yeah, like I have to kind of focus on just being here. I got to focus on one team at a time, and just focusing on winning, being the best player I can, being as effective as I can here. And when that kind of time comes to make that decision, that's kind of when I able to put those thoughts in my head and kind of really think about how that could be reality for me. And so I kind of just have it in the back of my head, but it's I'm not going to let it eat away at me and kind of affect the way I'm playing here.
I was going to ask you too about turning pro. Like, what's your feel in your game right now? Obviously you've accomplished like so much in the last year. Like, it's really crazy what you've done. Do you feel like you're ready to turn pro here?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough question. I don't know if anyone was ever as ready as like Cale Makar was. Everyone's gonna. It's a transition. It's definitely a big step. So I'm confident that I've can be at this level, be impactful player at this level. Learn to dominate and then kind of move on. So I think I think I'm there. I think there's parts of my game that I wanted to work on this year when it was coming back, that I needed to kind of mature, go and grow into a leadership role as well. So there's things that I needed to grow in this kind of year. That's the whole tale of why I needed one more year to come back. So I've definitely made those adjustments. I definitely got better as a player and person off the ice as well. So I think I'm definitely closer to making that step. I'm not really sure again what that decision is going to be until that kind of time comes up where I'm kind of have to sit down and say yes or no. But for now, I think I'm confident that I could be an effective player at the pro level. I just I have to focus on myself here and just one team at a time.
How supportive has Leafs brass been with you over the last year? Obviously, in pondering your decision last year, and obviously moving forward this year, they've been really supportive of you.
Yeah, for sure. They've been wonderful to have on my side. Honestly, they've been wonderful with giving me space on my decision. Not trying to bug me too much in my ear and kind of tell me what to do at that time. And so I think they've been huge. Obviously during the season they've come up and, they helped with nutrition. They've helped with, off ice work, drills on the ice, kind of just little things that they can help around with, and just not too much where it gets overwhelming. So that's what's really nice about it. I think they have a really good, balance of communication with me. So that's been wonderful. And I think they've been extremely supportive of my step coming back as well, to the U. I think that they were happy that I could, come up with a decision and feel that, I need those steps to mature and, little steps in my game that I need to take. So, they've been wonderful so far. And I think once, kind of this season slowly comes to an end, I think that, those kind of talks can ramp up again. And, we can discuss, further, like the future for sure.
Matthew, in your short career already, you're just getting started in a lot of ways, but you've already been to an Olympics, which, at your age, that's kind of a once in a lifetime thing. You've already checked that off the list. Tell us, a little bit about that. Were you able to hang out in the Olympic Village and kind of rub shoulders with the other athletes and get the whole experience, or what was that like for you?
I mean, it was pretty memorable, honestly. It was it was unbelievable, from start to finish, from, the opening ceremonies to playing our first game, to playing against Team Canada with, guys like Eric Stahl, who's, played, I think 1,400 games in the NHL now, play alongside guys with NHL pro experience, some of the best college athletes as well. Get to meet guys like Sean White, that whole experience in total was unbelievable. But, to get to hang out, around the Olympic Village with, the guys on our team, the guys like Justin Applicator, who's had that experience in, all kind of, in all hockey worlds, the world championships, from the Stanley Cup finals. I think he was awesome to kind of sit down to and just chat, just kind of pick his brain, having that kind of, insight on the NHL world was awesome for us young guys that were there as college athletes. And then just to play in that kind of atmosphere where, so much is on the line. It was tremendous. It was a, big learning experience for me. So I'm very thankful and grateful I got to, be a part of that.
Hey, spill the tea. Olympic Village, yes or no? Was it as legendary as people say it is?
I mean, it was a pretty nice setup. Like,
Yeah.
we each country got like almost like their own tower or like apartment tower. So like, it was funny. Like at the end of it, we were all partying with like the Germans and stuff when
That's
ours
sick.
got ended. But the food, it might have been one of the worst meals I've ever had in a month. Like it was not good for meals. Like it was truly brutal. Like there's just no eggs in the morning. I'd have like cookies and apple slices for breakfast. I remember like before the Team Canada game, there was like nothing to eat. So I had cereal, but I didn't want to have milk because I thought it'd be like too full. So I had cereal with water before the games to get me full, which was crazy. That I think all the athletes were kind of complaining, but then again, you're at the Olympics and I couldn't really do much. But yeah, it was kind of a crazy spot.
Hey, Rosie can speak to this. The National League, a bit different in terms of spread, right, Rosie?
The Never Hungry League, man. My during the fathers trips and stuff like that, the number one comment from the dads is just like, there is fucking food everywhere, man. I mean, you want a filet mignon for a pregame meal, there's a whole dish full of them. It's whatever you want, and the owner's taking you out for Wagyu beef and stuff like that. You're not going to have that problem in the big league there, Kniesy.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
How often are you checking out the Leafs games? And is there anyone on that roster that you would just love to play with, or you see yourself accommodating in terms of like a good fit with chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, I watch a good amount of their games. Usually that's the game that's on. When you click the TV, it's the first game that's on. And so yeah, I've watched a few of their games. I got to see, I've got to see the lineup pretty well here, and but I can't really tell you what I'd fit in well. I kind of have to would step in there and kind of dip my toe a little bit and get to see what it's really like there, and then I could give you a better answer for who I would accommodate. But guy playing with their top guys. Obviously a guy like Austin Matthews, who I've looked up to. He's been a huge influence on me. To get to honestly just share the ice with him would be unreal. So I think, I don't really know what the answer would be to accommodate. I just want to kind of step in there and be a player for them, be someone that, can contribute So I can't really give you an answer for that question.
That's fair. That's fair. So you rock the number 89. We know Nick Robertson wears that number. Is that number partial to you? Why do you wear it? Is there something other number you've worn in your career too?
I wore 89 because Mikkel Bodker, back on the Yotes team in that playoff series. So that's kind of where I fell in love with him.
That's sick.
You know, when I grew up playing for the junior Coyotes, I know Shane Doan, his son, wore 19. So I was like, I might as well wear 89 and we'll look like the same. And I kind of just stuck with it. I loved it. I actually got to meet him at the Olympics. I walked by him. I was honestly shocked. I didn't even say hi. I walked by him and I was a little in shock, but I wore that. Yeah. And I wore 19 in junior hockey for Shane. Obviously he was a big influence, so I kind of wanted to represent him a little bit. So I know that Nick wears it, so I'm not really sure what's in store for me. So I'm gonna have to think about it. Maybe talk to my brother Phil. He's always got some good trends going. He switches his number almost every year.
Oh, really? Because a lot of guys are like superstitious, right? Like they'll rock the same number for their entire career, and then there's some guys who are just flipping it up all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what it goes behind it. You know, some have deeper meanings, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I never really found a number that was a lucky number to me. So I kind of just try to pick a cool number and go with it.
All right. So Kniesy, sources tell me one of your favorite players growing up was Zdeno Chara. I did some digging on you. I had to. You know, we have some common friends. So Big Z. Sources tell me you still have a fat head of Big Z in your room. I don't know if it's at school or back home. Just explain your love for Big Z and what he meant to your career so far.
Yeah, that is true. There was a huge fat head in my room. I remember it was like one Christmas, me and my brother each got fat heads. My brother got Phillip Rivers because he was a huge Chargers fan for the unknown reason. And I just loved Chara. I loved how he was like the biggest guy on the ice as a kid. I also loved that he was Slovakian, like my parents. Like he had the same background, so I thought that was really cool. And from then I kind of just fell in love with it. Like I just loved how he was always the guy that everyone was afraid of, didn't want to play with. You know, I think he was, you know, some of the guys that would say that he's the toughest guy to go in the corner with, and that's the kind of thing I love. Like I thought he was just a fun player to watch, how tough he was, and how everyone was a little aware of him when he was on the ice. So that's kind of where I fell in love with him. But yeah, obviously a huge influence. Like I looked up to him as well. He was someone I loved to watch growing up.
Kniesy, after making your decision to go back to college this year and seeing how much success the Gophers are having, if you guys were to get that national championship this year, would that kind of solidify your decision in your head? Something you could always say to yourself, you know what, I can hang my hat on that forever, and I know I made the right decision. Is that kind of what you're going for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want it to change the decision of whether I choose to make the step or not. Obviously, that's number one on my list right now, is to get there and to win that. And you know, I don't really know what it feels like to be at that moment to decide. Well, like I've achieved enough, and that next year it's you know, I'm almost trending downhill a little bit. You know, I've achieved the most I can at this level, but you know, I don't really want that to tie into the decision of whether to stay or come or to make the jump.
Last question. What is that behind you, man? I've been wondering that the whole interview, the background. What is, okay. I was like,
yeah, so this is our film room here.
I was like, what is happening right now? It's just like a big ass head.
Yeah, I think it's a regular season that they won way back, actually. This is a pretty long time ago. So
only quiet place you could find in the building, hey?
Honestly, yeah, it's pretty rowdy out here. We had a big sewer game going on in the middle of our locker room, so I had to get out of there in a hurry.
No worries, man. I know you're so busy. Really appreciate the time today, and best of luck moving forward. We hope to see you in Toronto in the springtime. If we do, give me a shout, let you know where to go, okay?
Gotcha. Thank you so much.